What is up, YouTube? It is your boy Chopper Slice, man, and you are now rocking with Coast Boy.
Fights,
You
aka
know.
Chopping Tosh Entertainment, baby. You
know. Man, we're back. We're back. We got a great one for you today, man. I was going through a little list today, man, and I seen my girl that brought it to my attention last night on TV. It was this guy, Caleb Plant. He is a boxer. For those who don't know who he is, he is very talented. I think he is a champ now. I think he got a belt. I'm not sure, or maybe he's about to get the belt soon. I think they want him to fight Canelo. That'll be a good one. Which Canelo is gonna be one that I do on here too. But yeah, Caleb Plant, Sweethands. That's what they call him. And the dude's hands is nasty. So I recommend you guys check him out. And it's an honor to do this formula. I haven't seen anyone do him yet, and if I have, and if anybody has, correct me if I'm wrong. But here we go. Welterweight, he's 168, which is super middle in his weight class in boxing, but on UFC, it is welterweight. And if you guys want to put him in middleweight, go ahead, do your thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and put him at 68. 168. So he's 6'1", Caleb Plant. Now, excuse me, they don't have Sweethands on here for a nickname, so I went with Silky. Sweethands for this social media handle. He is originally he is from what is it called? God, what is the name of his that music is too loud. Oh my God, let me go back. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Now, he's originally from Nashville, Tennessee. They don't have Nashville on here, which is crazy to me, because that's a big place. I was going to do Memphis, but I didn't know if Nashville and Memphis got along, so I'm not sure. So I went ahead and just put Knoxville. Knoxville hood too, don't get it wrong, but I decided to put that. Plus it's closer. Knoxville is a little bit closer to Nashville. When I looked it up, it's like 2 hours away, and Memphis is like 5, I think. But he's 28 years old now. If I'm wrong, he's 27, but I'm pretty sure he's 28. I know that sounds crazy. He has an orthodox style. Now, speaking on his style, man, he has a nice style, man. He has that style that he can use his defensive style, which is the shoulder roll. He's one of those guys that mastered the shoulder roll. Now, I'm not gonna say he mastered it yet. But he definitely finessed it. So that's pretty cool. He my girl is crazy. What, baby? You throwing me off?
I know.
What is it?
And I didn't turn on, but turn around and look at you. So it cracked me up.
You don't want anything?
No, it just was cracking me
My girl
up.
throwing me off, y'all. I'm sorry. But he's right-handed. He stands orthodox. Now, if I have to put a name on his style, I would have to say he's crafty. He's technical. He utilizes his footwork well. He uses in defense mode a Philly shell kind of style in his own way. So I'll give you like examples on the shoulder rollist. I like to call it. Floyd Mayweather, James Toney, Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker. You know those guys. Teofimo Lopez uses it. Floyd right now is the king of it. Him and James Toney in my opinion. But don't get it wrong, Caleb Plant, he utilizes it very well. Now his stance, and he's very good on that jab too. He's very decent on that jab. He's kind of got a taller, slender build, and has decent limbs, long limbs. He's like 76 or 74 inch reach. I think 76. Only says 74 because that's Connor's reach, but 76. Now, I did the Fabricio Wardum stance. I usually go with the Luke Rockhold because Luke Rockhold stance, it always keeps me in that lower Philly shell type stance, and I like that. It when you, especially with them doing the patch and the update, it makes it, in my own little way, I try to act like and mimic the shoulder roll, and I can come with a counter cross, and perfect that pretty well. And that's another thing about Caleb Plant. He's very good on his counter shots, very good, and he's really a sniper. That's one thing I wanted to tell y'all. But yes, for the posture, I'm gonna try Wardham. Now, if it doesn't bring and make him stick in that fighter stance that I like, I'm gonna go back and get Luke Rockhold stance. So, but yeah, man, real talk. Now I picked Showboat for the fighter style. Now, but he's really a sniper, man. He really, in his last fight, matter of fact, in his last couple fights that I watched, um, he doesn't miss, man. Like most of his punches he throw, he connects most of them. He fought another guy named Caleb Torax, I think Truax, Caleb Truax, man. He busted Truax up. I'm not gonna lie. Truax showed a lot of heart though. He punished Truax a little bit, man. Kind of bullied him around in there. Used his jab well, dominated the fight. But don't get it wrong, Truax was firing back. I mean, he was keeping at times he was keeping Plant at bay, but then it didn't last for long. Plant would finally, break through and use his jab and come with either a double jab cross or end up hitting him with one of them. Sean Porter said that it's called a funny jab, where it comes from the hip, from off the hip. Now I explained that when I made Thomas Hearns one time. I said he slung it like a whip, and it does come off the hip. It's like you lean to the side off the hip and hit him with the jab. It looks like it's gonna be a hook, but it's not. So I would have to show you for you to understand it. Go back and watch that fight with Truax, and you will see exactly what I'm saying. But that's the general info. Let's get to the hair now. Now hairstyle went with hairstyle 23. Eyebrows 11. Let me go back so you guys can catch that. Eyebrows 11. Now his eyebrows are a little bit different than that. I thought about picking different ones and making my own so I can shade them in, but if anything, I'll just shade them in. Facial hair, facial style 25. I usually mess with my own facial hair, but this one's actually pretty accurate. So I was like, dang, okay, I rocks with that. So yeah. Now body hair. Now one of his fights I actually seen, he had like it looked to me that he had like a tiny bit of body hair, like about like you see right there. So I just chose that just to be on the safe side. Now he's not all super hairy or nothing like that, but I chose body hair 4. Now for the colors, dark brown for the head, dark brown for the eyebrows, dark brown for the facial hair, and dark brown for the body. Now template 38 is what I started off of. Now when I made Joe Louis and I seen this one, though these templates from the Joe Louis template that I used and this one here almost had it to where, man, I barely even had to do anything. But nah, you do have to do some changes and fix the features, man. But it was a good one. It was a close one. It was actually a great one to start with, using Caleb Plant and the one that I did with Joe Louis. So I'm gonna get to a formula. I'm gonna introduce the Aiden 0360 here. Shout outs to Aiden 0. By the way, shout outs to Creative Player. Shout outs to Danny P. Shout outs to my man Rhino. Man, shout outs to everybody that showed me love. Michael Peterson. I love you guys, man. And if it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't be doing it right now, man. Because I started off watching their content, and that made me want to do it. So shout outs to those guys, man. Now, if I was like, I don't really like to compare boxers to other boxers because I feel like that's not fair. Like me, I used to box a little back when I was in high school. I got kicked out of the class for fighting outside of the class, the boxing gym. But I regret that. But I also, do hip hop music and things like that. And I wouldn't want to be compared to no rapper or anything like that. Even though when you're younger and you don't really think about it, it feels good. Yo, he said I sound like Lil Wayne, haha. But when you really think about it, man, and you grow up, and become your own man, you really look at it like, yo, I'm me. Like, I'm not him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to compare his style to no one, but if you was to compare him to someone in the UFC, I would say Calvin Kattar a little bit, just because of the look, maybe. And Calvin Kattar can box, even though he lost to Max Holloway. I feel, to me, in my opinion, that was an off night for Calvin Kattar, not to take nothing from Holloway. But I feel if Calvin Kattar can improve a few more fights, come back and fight Holloway, I think Kattar can handle it. But nah, man, like Teofimo Lopez, boxers like him. If you never seen Caleb Plant fight, if that their styles are sort of similar, but he has his own type of little rhythm and style that he gets into. He's very unpredictable with his punches. He can go from body to head in a jiffy. You know what I mean? And before you know it, you're on a canvas. He punished the guy. First name is Mike, I think. I want to say Michael Smith, Mike Smith. I don't know his name.
Mike Jones.
Who? But he knocked the guy down like 8 times in the first round. Nah, really like 4 times, I think. The kid was a graduate from like Notre Dame or something like that he fought. And he was, I think he had trash talked Caleb Plant a little bit. So when they was in the face off, Caleb Plant got a little bit nagged and started kind of trash talking him a little bit and said, you know, I'm going to teach him what that school couldn't teach him. And he left it at that. And when they got in the ring, he showed him a little bit of something. It was an iconic beatdown, actually. Now there's the formula. Now it's eye color. Now I'm gonna tell you this. When I looked him up, and I kind of, cause he's a boxer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I usually don't have to look at a picture or anything when I usually make boxers, especially the legend boxers. I can usually come off the brain and do it, but this one I had to look up some info about him and things like that because I had just recently found out about him. But it said that in one thing that said he had brown eyes along with brown hair. He does not have brown eyes. When you look at him, his eyes is either blue, gray. But y'all know me, I like to be difficult. I'll choose red eyes or something like that. But I chose light blue. My girl said they were blue, but I feel like they're gray in a way. Cause I mean that kind of looks like them. But I chose light blue. That's just me. I might go back and switch it to gray, but it's up to you guys. But his eye color's blue. Now the body type, y'all know what I say. That all depends on your eyesight. Now I will give you a estimate on what I think. You know, if I was to narrow it down for you, I chose body type 10. Now if I was to narrow it down, I would either use body type 5, 4, or 7, but I go with 10, man, because he kind of got that, and that's the Conor McGregor type body type. If he had if you add an inch or 2 on the reach, it'll be exactly like him. But nah, this is what I think his body type looks like, man. Or don't take it away, or either from like 4, too big on the traps, man. Too big on the traps. I feel like body 10, in my opinion, is more like it. Skin tone. Yeah, it's too white. Yeah, I guess she got a little tint with his color. Yeah, skin tone 3 is what I went with. Now, this is the hardest. I'm gonna have to start from scratch on it. Y'all bear with me. All right. If you go to his neck and you look at his neck, I use Angel/Demons 6 for the tattoo on his neck. He has a cross on his neck. Now, I mind you, every tattoo that I use, most of them, they're not exactly the tats that he has, of course. I'm sure you guys already know, but they are, most of them, in the same and right spots. From how I look and I can tell, I think I got the right amount of tats. Maybe 1 or 2 off, maybe, that I may need to add 1 or 2 if I'm wrong. but I definitely feel and know 100% in my heart that I do have him in the right spot. So you basically kind of just got to go with what you have. But I used he has a cross on his neck, and it's angel slash demon is what I used, so it looks sort of like it. Or you can go with demon 7. You can go with that one right there, but I went with 6. That was and duplicate. You know, I've told you about duplicate. You could shade things in with it or make the exact same copy with it. Now I did shade it in a little bit. I shaded it in like 5 times. And now with his hair, of course y'all know what I be doing with the tats on his hair. Critters Font 9. I filled it in, you know, lighten it up a little bit so it ain't completely black, to where it can match the brown on his hair color. I'm gonna have to go back and edit this up. I will. I'm just showing you the basis of what I done, because I got it a little bit off. Not too bad, but the reason why I use Critters Font 9 to shade in his hair and not just regular shape colors, because that swirls on it makes it look like hair. Now see behind his ear, I need to fix that, because you know, you can it kind of looks a little off. You can kind of almost tell that it's tatty in a way. But I filled those in. I maybe do, you know, all around his hair. You could, if you want, you can duplicate some of them. Yeah, see, like right there. Yeah, like, you know, right there, you can just fill them in and things like that. As many as you need to, as many as you can. Now, if once or twice, I'll use a shape, but I'll use it more towards the top of the hair. Be quiet, baby. It's my little dog. And I even used shape 63. I used it to balance out the line, the hairline in the back, to make it a little even. Of course, I got it. I mean, I got it looking decent, but you can tell that I got, you know, got it a little bit off. I may need to go and check that, by the way. I see you, baby girl. Yeah, see, I got it right there. But I'm gonna go back and re-edit that and mess with it. Now for the sideburns. I used Portraits 9, and I use those to connect the sideburns. Now I'm gonna have to double check though and go back and check him out and see how his sideburns connect. That's just what I done. I thought it looked tight. Now I don't know if it's exactly like his, but I know it's damn sure close. But I done it on each side. I duplicate some of the photos too. I duplicate it. I didn't even get that out right. I hit duplicate to you can double it to shade it in a little better and things like that. So on each side, make sure you do that. That's all for the head. Now the left arm is what we're gonna start with. Now here's a lion right on his left arm, on his shoulder. He has a picture of a lion. Now this is not the exact picture of the lion. Now the lion that's really on his shoulder doesn't have a king's head on it. Now I could have went with that one. That would have been cool. I should have, but I actually made the mane on the lion myself. And that's the reason I'm gonna keep it, because I've done it myself. But the lion is facing in real life on his shoulder. It's kind of facing in the way that lion is that I have right here on 14. Now the lion that I actually used, 22, it's not shaped and facing the exact same way. It's kind of facing sideways in a way, kind of like cattle cornered in a way. But to make it a male, I used and the lion that I used is Animals 22. To make the mane, I used Arizumi 3, and I just, you know, filled them in, duplicate, you know, a couple times, went all the way around and just filled in spots on the mane. And make sure you leave the ears out. You could tell that I left the ears out a little bit for the lion, so it make it look more like a mane, make it look realistic and, you know, as possible. So if you guys, you know, want to rewind, fast forward, and see how I done it. That's how I made that. Yeah, and I just went all the way around on the mane. In the tattoo, he has a cross on his bicep on his left arm. Right there on the middle of his bicep. This a cross like this. I'm gonna make it about like that, yeah. But yeah, he has that on him. So I put that there. Like I said, these are they don't have the exact tats that he has on him now, but you know they're definitely close. Um, and I put, you know what, I'm gonna change that since I Kings of Kings. I'm gonna use that. Actually, let me. I'm gonna transform it with Beast. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm glad I done that. So yeah, I'm gonna just put Beast right there. Now we actually have some like numbers right there too. I'll get to that. And I added angels and demons. So what was this? Yeah, text 10. I used text 10, and back to the tattoo on his biceps, angels and demons 2. I'm gonna make sure I name all of these. So yeah, text 10 Beast, put that right there on his forearm. That's what I done. Now if you guys can figure out the exact tats that he have, and you can somehow come up with him and make them and change them or find something better, please let me know. Like I said, I'm open to constructive criticism, yo, for real, cause I'll definitely go back, edit it, change it up, and fix it up. But I feel I did a decent job. Like I said, let me know what you think. Angels and Demons 13 is what I used on that, and I brung it down on his glove a little bit. Now what he does have realistically, and I also used, actually I might switch that up. Yeah, I'm gonna switch it up, widen it up. Cause you know, a couple tats I use the same tats, but make it look a little different. You know what I mean? Actually, I'll put that right there. Put that right there. Yeah, I'll do that. It's a little different. It's not the exact same, but it's something different. Now, and that was Portrait 7 is what I used. I switched it. Now he does have these numbers in real life on his wrist, but he has some other numbers with it, and when I find out what they are, I couldn't find them in no clips. I couldn't find them in no pictures exactly, because you know most of the pictures of them, I'm not looking at model pictures of them or anything like that. I'm looking at most of his pictures sparring and fights. So I try to glance and find things as close and good as I can. But I use rosewood font 28-1 for the one on his for the numbers on his wrist. As you can see right here. And I duplicate to shade it in to make it a little darker. You okay, buddy? And then I use rosewood font 31 for 4. I duplicated it to shade it in a little bit. I get crossed up when I say that. Duplicate it. And then I went and used regular shapes for the 2 zeros. You know, the 2 zeros on one on top of each other. Like a clock, like you're telling time in a way. And the one for that is somewhere right here, I think. Yeah, there it is. Right there. And that's it for his left arm. Now the right arm. Like I said, once again for the 100th time, these tats aren't exactly the tats that he has, but they're in the same split place, and like 1, 2, or 3 of them are actually exactly like his though. Like 1 or 2, maybe 3, like the ones on his wrist. the tattoo on his bicep, and the lion, but the lion, that's not exactly how a lion looks. But I tried, man. Thank you, baby. Arizumi, my baby said it looked really good. I appreciate, that's my queen. I love her so much. Arizumi 1 is what I started with. I started with it right here on the middle of his arm. Kind of, you know, put it like right there in the middle, like where it feel like he was a flex. You can see, what you don't call it traps, you don't call it biceps, you call it your triceps. Yeah, your tricep right there, like start and ending, make it end right there, like where his tricep is, behind his tricep in a way, right there. Yeah, that one there. Yeah. And then on his elbow, I used miscellaneous 11. It's a Native American type. Looks like it's a Native American on a horse, either sitting there down in a way, like he just fought in battle, and and he's kind of mourning over some losses. And it's got like little feathers on it. I put that. That's not exactly what he has on his elbow. I can't really tell the tat that he has on his elbow. It's like it has like a little reddish or orangish color to it, and it's a few little circles and you know, something like that. If you guys know what it is, please let me know so I can come and I can either fix it or figure out what it is. I would definitely like to know, because I couldn't get a good shot and see what it is exactly. But I used the miscellaneous 11 Native American. I went ahead and put that on his elbow because of the color on it. And I filled it in and put it in the middle of spider webs. I duplicated the spider webs a few times to make it darker, about 4 or 5 times. And the spider webs are on the miscellaneous 1. Now, condition to conquer. Now he has a passage in a paragraph on his bicep, in the inside of his arm, on his bicep, not like inside his arm, but like on the inside of his arm, where his bicep is, on the right arm. And it's a paragraph, and I do not know what it says. I'm pretty sure it might be something out of the Bible. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know exactly what it says. So what I done, text 7, condition to conquer, I use those, and I duplicate and put one after the other to make it look like a paragraph in a way, one after the other. Now if you guys want, you can make it a little bit longer. Take your time when you get to where you can't see though, because you know, you don't want to put it in the wrong spot, and my controller acts a little funny sometimes. So, and I just done that. I made, like, how many times I do it? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 times. Okay, cool. 7 times. Now, skulls 2. Now, if you go back to this side, going down where his wrist is, skulls 2, I did that. I used skulls 2, and I reversed it. For the PlayStation, it's triangle. I reversed it with the head facing down and put it down in the glove a little bit. See, I just put that on there, added it. I don't know what's on the wrist. There's some numbers there, like a date or something on there, for something special probably that happened in his life. I don't know exactly what it is, but if I can find out, like I said, I'm gonna go back and update, and I might come and edit this version of them. Again, because I want the tattoos, I feel like I could get them a little better, but they're not bad. But anyway, let's see. And I used Skulls 4, and I put it right on top of it. See, and that's pretty tight. Where I used this one, flipped it down, and then put Skulls 4 on top of it, and it looks like a tat blended in together. Like I said, I don't know what's on his wrist. I just know something's there, and it's not really his wrist. It's like a little bit above his wrist. Now he has a rose though on his right arm, on his shoulder. He has a rose. Now I don't see a picture of a rose. Now the only picture of the rose I see is here. and it's pink, and the rose that's on the shoulder is not pink. It's actually a plain color. So what I done was, cool. So what I done was is miscellaneous 23. I used this picture here on number 23 on a miscellaneous, and I duplicated it. I did it 1, 2. Let's see. I duplicated. We ain't gonna count the first one. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I did it 12 times to darken it in, to, you know, kind of like replace the rose that we don't have on here. And he has something like going towards like if he was to go towards his chest in a way, it looks like something right there, like at the very tip of his shoulder, like where his cup is, shoulder cuff, I think that's what it's called. Hey babe, it's called a shoulder cuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah, shoulder cup. I used Arizumi 8, and I kind of made it slim, real slim. I hate when I do that, man. I made it real slim. See how I made it real slim? And I kind of brought it, you know, put it in that position, because, you know, he has something in that position. Something, I'm not sure what it is. This looks like some type of, it may be some tribal sign or something like that. But I used that in replace of it. And in the forearm of his right hand, I used the angel slash demon 7 cross again, and I used it, made it look a little different from the one in the bicep of his left arm, and I used it right here. That's pretty cool how it looks different though. But I think that's it. Yeah, that's everything. That's all of his tats, man. That's all of his tats. So that's him, man. That's Caleb Plant. Now, going back to the clothing, this is on a different account because I ran out of space for creative fighters. So I don't have all my trunks now, but for the clothing, I do want to put these trunks here. I'm gonna show you. I may copy them down on my other one, and put what's his name, Tommy Morrison, on this one, and put him on my other platform. Now these shorts here, I think he had the color blue on like this in his last fight. I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but these are the shorts I would like to put on him. But I went with the regular blue shorts. Yeah, so if the shorts are blue, then he had on blue shorts. I went with the basic blue shorts, and the Strike Force gloves is the ones I would like to use for him, if I ever get a chance to check those out. Yeah, the Strike Force blue gloves, or the black ones. Yeah, that's what I would like to use for him. And the mouthpiece, I used the regular USA flag one. But that's Caleb Plant, man, and Caleb Plant is definitely nice with his hands. You guys should definitely go check him out, man. He's a very tight boxer, man. He has a very, very slick style. He's a counter puncher. He can finesse that shoulder roll when he needs to, and he's also a sniper. He's very good on his precision and timing. Now the emotes, you guys gonna have to go through and check on your own. Until next time, man, thank y'all for stopping by, yo. Until next time, I'll hit y'all later, cuz now up next, we're probably gonna, I'm not sure who I'm gonna do next. If you guys have any requests, you let me know, and we'll get them to you. Me and my man Danny P, my girl, we all get them to you. We'll handle that. Until next time though, like, comment, subscribe. You know, we out. Let me go back and fix this real quick.